Hello guys, welcome back to EduTap. I hope you're doing good and preparing well for your exams. Today we'll be discussing a very important topic, that is corporate social responsibility. If you see the previous year question paper, there were 4 questions in the phase 2 of RBI Grade B 2022 directly from this topic itself. So by this itself you can understand how important this topic becomes from the exams point of view. So without further delay, let us break down this topic and simply understand what is corporate social responsibility. If you are new to EduTap, I have a very good news for you that we at EduTap are presenting a comprehensive guidebook for RBI Grade B and SEBI Grade A, which would be answering all your common queries in a definitive manner. What are these common queries? Let it be the exam pattern, the cutoffs which were prevailing, the sources which you have to follow, not just that, the hierarchy eventually to which you would be reaching, the perks, everything is given in this guidebook. All these information are so much scattered in the internet that it consumes a lot of time of yours, and I would suggest you to download this and head start your preparation right away. The link of the same is given in the description section given below. If you are new to EduTap, do press the bell icon to receive the latest updates about various regulatory body exams, and do join our Telegram channel to receive the PDFs of all the sessions. So without delaying time, let's begin CSR, corporate social responsibility. See, you have to keep in mind the term corporate social responsibility is not a new term to the world. It dates back around to 1953. Around 1953, this concept started, becoming very popular when a writer, Howard R. Bowen, wrote a famous book. What was his book known as? Social Responsibilities of Businessmen. From that time, the concept of corporate social responsibility has gained its popularity. But when I just say the term corporate social responsibility, I cannot, give you a firm definition, because the whole term corporate social responsibility can be, looked upon depending upon various industries and the companies which are promoting this particular activity. But the first thing which should come to your mind when I say corporate social responsibility is any activity, with which enriches 3 things. What are those 3 things? Firstly, the social factor. Second, the environmental factor. And third is the economic factor of the society as a whole. So this is what in simple corporate social responsibility is. Now that you have understood the basics of corporate social responsibility, let us dive directly into the technical definitions which are prevailing. See, when I say CSR, I can simply break this into 3 words: corporate, social, and responsibility. See, before understanding these 3 terms, keep in mind that the concept of corporate governance and corporate social responsibility go hand in hand. What is corporate governance? It is the process or mechanism by which an organization is directed or is working. And when I say you are a good corporate employee, what do I mean? I simply mean that you're working in an organization which has a good internal corporate governance, and also externally it participates in various socio-economic activities through the process of CSR. Okay? So this is what I mean when I say corporate governance and corporate social responsibilities go hand in hand. Now that you have understood this, let us understand what are these 3 terms which are involved in the CSR process. The first term is corporate. What do I mean by corporate? It is any business entity. Any business entity which is organized in nature. Okay? Now, when I say social, what do I mean by social? The first thing which should come to your mind when I say social is anything related to common people or society as a whole is known as social. When I say responsibility, it simply means the accountability. The accountability which certain companies exhibit towards what, as I said you just now, towards the economic activity, towards environment and the social activity. So by participating in CSR, companies promote overall a well-being of the society. Okay? So you need to keep in mind that the first thing which you should remember is that corporate governance and CSR goes hand in hand. So I hope you understood what is corporate governance, corporate social responsibility. So let's move ahead and understand what was the need of corporate social responsibility. Why is it very important for the organization and the society as a whole? So the first thing for which CSR is important is the favorable public image. See, when I say favorable public image, you have to remember only one thing, that whenever a company participates in the CSR activity, what is it doing? It is doing good to the society. Now, when you do good to the society, the people or the customers as a whole start looking at you in a good way. So what is this doing indirectly? It is creating a brand value for the company. There is a positive image which is being created about the given organization. And when I say that there is a positive image being created, how would this help the company? It would indirectly boost, the sales and eventually the profit for an organization. Okay? This is what favorable public image means. So basically the main key term you have to remember is trust. That is, when a company gets into these kind of activities, the people start, showing trust towards that company. Okay? Now, the second aspect is social involvement of employees. See, basically, there are a lot of employees who want to contribute towards the society. And when a company promotes corporate social responsibility, what happens is that they can retain back the worthy employees. There would be a lot of employees who are very good at their work and they equally want to contribute to the society. And if they look that the company is promoting this task, they would like to stay in the organization for a longer period of time. Now, what is the third need of CSR? The third need is coalescing social and organizational goal. See, it simply means that how can an organization grow? See, an organization will grow only in one case, when it's, society, or let's say the neighborhood is in progress. So let's say if the neighborhood or the society fails as a whole, the organization would not able to grow. So you can just think it in this way, that it is society as a whole. Now the next need is that the corporate social responsibility gives freedom and flexibility in decision making. See, when I say freedom and flexibility, you simply have to remember that once a company participates in corporate social responsibility activities, the ambit or there is a reduction, you can say, of the monitoring of whom? Of the government or any regulatory body. They can freely make their own decisions. Okay? Now, the last need is it encourages cooperative attitude and healthy competition. What do I mean by this? See, look, if let's say there is a company A who is taking part a lot in a corporate social responsibility activity. So what happens, as I said there is a good image which is created for this company. So what happens is, looking at this, the companies which have, similar way of working, or let's say any company apart from this company, let's say B, C or D, there are companies, these people take motivation because they see that eventually the company's brand name is being promoted and overall they are doing good to the society. So this is what this need says, that by looking at the corporate social responsibility activity of one company, the other companies also participate in such activities. So I hope you understood what are the four needs, why CSR is important. Now that we understood what are the needs, now let us look into the issues which are related to CSR. The biggest issue was, eyeing on profitability and displaying greed. Few moments back I just said you that, when companies participate in CSR, what is happening? Their image is being improved in the society. There's a trust building, their dignity as a whole. The company shows that it is ethical in some way or the other. So what is happening? The customers are increasing. The profitability of the organization as a whole is increasing. So what happened that there were many instances where the companies started seeing CSR as a profit making, methodology. Instead of actually feeling that, yeah, we are doing something for the society, they started looking towards it as a profit generating action. Okay? The second, drawback is the lack of specialists. See, even though many companies started participating in this activity, they did not hire specific specialists with respect to CSR. See, now that the concept has, become very popular and important throughout the world, or let's say in case of India, it is mandatory. What happened is a lot of companies still lack specialists. There are special people who are, quite qualified in this approach. Okay? Now, the next issue which came was the transparency issue. What do I mean by transparency issue? I simply mean that there were a lot of companies who did participate in this activity, but they did not reveal how are they using their funds, where are they using their funds. This was another issue which was taking place in case of CSR. Now, the next biggest issue was the imbalance in CSR spending. Now, when I say corporate social responsibility, please keep in mind that what are the activities in which the companies is going to, put its money. It can be in the field of education, in case it can invest its money in health, sanitation, etc. Okay? So, what was happening that a lot of companies, were investing their money, but again there was an imbalance. What do I mean by imbalance? Either they were, investing in only certain particular industry, let's say only in health and education. They were, let's say, not investing in women empowerment, or let's say sanitation. So what was happening? The investment was getting narrower. Or let's say, there were instances where the companies, had their own companies, or you can say wherein they used to invest the money in, their own, sister concerns or their own companies. That created an imbalance. Now, the next issue is the geographical equity. Now, when you look at India's, way of investing in CSR, there are top 5 states wherein, which contribute majorly to the CSR activity. Who are those 5 states? Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Gujarat. Okay? And you can understand that only these chunk of states were the states which were contributing higher. But let's say the bottom side of the list, the northeastern states, Mizoram, Assam, all these, states were contributing very less towards the CSR activity. So what did this show indirectly, or what is it showing? That, the interest towards the activity as a whole. This was another issue. And lastly, the issue which was being faced is the contradictory nature of CSR's law. What do I mean by contradictory nature of CSR's law? See, basically, what is corporate social responsibility? It is done in order to, somewhere motivate people, or, do something good for the society. And, at times it becomes difficult to abide by all these laws. So these were the 6 issues with respect to CSR. Now that you have understood holistically what is CSR, why was CSR needed, and the issues with respect to CSR, now let us look at India's viewpoints and how is CSR being promoted in case of India. Okay? Now, keep in mind that India became the first country in the world to mandate CSR. When did India mandate this? Can you let me know this in the comment section? Anyway, India mandated CSR in the year 2014, 1st April. So, according to which law or which section of the Companies Act CSR is mandatory in India? It is section 135. So, what does this say? That it says that there are 3 important parameters on which a company would be investing, or means there are 3 conditions, if I would say in a simpler way, and those companies have to mandatorily contribute towards CSR. What are those conditions? The first condition is that the net profitability of the company should be 5 crores or more. Secondly, the net worth of the companies should be 500 or more, 500 crores or more. So those companies who have a net worth of 500 crore or more, so those who have a net profit more than 5 crores or more, or the third case, the turnover of the company is more than 1000 crores. All these companies have to mandatorily invest in CSR. So how much profit would they be asked to invest? So you need to keep in mind that these types of companies have to invest 2% of their profit in the last 3 years into the CSR activities. Do remember this percentage because it becomes very important. Now, apart from this, you also need to know that these companies have to form a corporate social responsibility committee. And what is the constitution of board of directors? There should be 3 or more of board directors, and keep in mind 1 out of them has to be independent board of directors. So prior to 2014, it was not mandatory in India. It was the voluntary, nature of the company that whether they wanted to, invest their money in CSR activities or not. But again, keep in mind the disclosure of these amounts for those companies who were investing in CSR. They had to, let their shareholders know that where are they investing their money. But from 2014, it became mandatory for those companies who, कौन से companies जिनका net profit 5 crore है, net worth कितना है 500 crore या उससे ज़्यादा, और उन लोगों का turnover कितना है 1000 crore or more, they have to mandatorily take part in the activity of CSR. So this is how simple the concept of CSR is. So let's quickly move and see what were the previous year questions which were asked. So as I said there were 4 previous year questions in the phase 2 of RBI Grade B 2022 itself. So what were these questions? The first questions asked that the committee which is formed should consist of how many directors and how many independent directors. So you have to answer me all these answers in the comment section, and I'll let you know tomorrow who answered these questions in the correct manner. The second question asks that what should be the net profit of the company for whom the CSR law is mandatory. And the third question is, as per company law, what should be the net worth of the company. So I taught you all these things just now. So do let me know the answers of all these 3 questions. I've combined 2 questions in one because there was a paragraph given about CSR and I have made this into one question. So do let me know the answers in the comment section. So I hope you enjoyed the session. If you have any doubt with respect to CSR, do let me know. But before that, I'll give you a live example so that you understand this in a better way. You can take the example of Tata, who invest a lot, where they invest a lot in the public welfare activities. You can take the example of Ultratech as well. Ultratech is working with around 407 villages in India, wherein it is promoting corporate social responsibility. How is it doing that? By, making people self-reliant. They are constructing lot of medical hospitals, etc. And let's say if you want to take a recent example of CSR, you can remember that during COVID pandemic times, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs said that whatever amount any company is going to spend towards the betterment of the society, let's say by providing equipment or anything, that would be considered as an part of CSR. So whenever you get some descriptive answer, or you can remember these examples and quote it there accordingly. I guess Sandeep has answered the question number 1, and you're absolutely right that there should be 3 or more directors and the number of independent directors should be 1. And likewise, I would ask each of you to answer these 2 questions. So I hope you enjoyed the session. If you have any doubt, do let me know in the comment section, and also do reach out to us in the given number. Have a nice day, prepare well, all the best.